So when they pasteurize something, they take milk, they cook it from 250 degrees to 500 degrees for up to 60 minutes. Then they add emulsifiers and all these chemicals in there. Very weird chemicals, trisodium phosphate, sodium citrate, all these really weird chemicals into there. They can put up to 5% of emulsifiers in there. So anything that they want, 5%. They can also color it, okay? So they can color pasteurized cheese with all these different synthetic colors and put things in there as well. But when you get through it, the biggest one I found, and this was mind-blowing because people always say I have a milk allergy. Well, you're allergic to the in the milk rather than the milk itself. And what was interesting was the first thing that I found on the pasteurized milk, they add trisodium phosphate. Trisodium phosphate also leads to people developing kidney stones and excreting calcium from the body and osteoporosis. So they say, you know, the whole milk thing, do you see how that's like, oh, it's going to help your bones, but they pasteurize it, zap it of all the nutrients, and then it does the opposite.
30s, when milk production became more industrialized, state governments supported the move towards pasteurization and passed many laws making it near impossible to obtain raw milk. But you'll never guess who was one of the forerunners for this pasteurization movement. It was a family with a name you might have heard before, a group of people who belonged to one of the most powerful and wealthy bloodlines on this earth, the Rockefellers. In 1933, Rockefeller Dairy patented new and expensive industrial machinery with the purpose of pasteurizing milk. But the Rockefellers needed demand for their new industrial machinery. And what better way of creating demand than by making it mandatory by law? With their wide range of governmental contacts and deep wealth, the Rockefellers managed to lobby a new law in place. This law stated that all milk should henceforth be pasteurized. Now this caused an outrage among small farmers, and many of them protested the law. These farmers had no way of affording the expensive pasteurization machinery, which was now required by law.
If you don't understand this trick, you will be easy to manipulate. It's been used by the government, by big corporations, and by the media to control public thought and behavior. This is how people use numbers that are technically true to make things sound way scarier or way safer than they actually are. Here's the trick. Absolute risk is the real chance of something happening. Think about a jar with 10,000 marbles in it and only one of them is red. Your chance of picking the red marble is 1 in 10,000. That's the absolute risk. Now, relative risk compares two tiny numbers to make one of them sound huge. So if there's another jar and it has 2 red marbles, they'll say, you have 100% more chance of getting a red marble in this jar than you do in this jar. Well, your chance went from 1 in 10,000 to 2 in 10,000, both small numbers, but your chance has doubled. Relative risk is the favorite tool of fearmongers because it makes a tiny number sound huge. Absolute risk shows the real world odds. Now watch how this plays out. You've seen the headline, you're 840 times more likely to get sick from raw milk than from pasteurized milk. That's a relative risk number. It is technically true, but the absolute risk of getting sick from raw milk is about 1 in 13,000 for the people who drink it. That is less than 1/100th of 1%. They pulled the same move with COVID vaccines. Do you remember the headlines? The Pfizer vaccine is 95% effective. That number was blasted everywhere. But here's the truth. That was the relative risk reduction. When you dig into the actual trial data, the absolute risk reduction, the real difference between the vaccinated and the unvaccinated groups was about 0.8%. Less than 1%. They could have said this shot lowers your actual risk by less than 1%, but they didn't. They went with the bigger, scarier sounding number, 95%. And people made life-changing decisions based on that framing. It wasn't technically a lie, but it was incredibly misleading. And that should make you angry because it shows how much public opinion can be manipulated by the way statistics are presented. So whether it's food safety or medicine, statistics can be technically true, but still used to trick you. Next time you hear a scary or amazing number in a headline, ask, are they talking about relative risk or absolute risk? Relative risk, it sells headlines. Absolute risk tells the truth.